You ever feel that? That kind of quiet hum in the background of your life? It's this vague but, persistent feeling of emptiness, even when everything on the surface is fine. Today, we're going to dive deep into where that feeling comes from, exploring a really powerful idea about what's going on in our modern world.
So yeah, the big question is, why? Where does this feeling actually come from? It's not like it's a brand new problem, but it definitely feels super sharp in our lives today. And to really get it, we've got to look at the very structure of the world we've built around ourselves.
The philosopher Uchiyama Takashi just nails it with this quote. We play all the parts we're supposed to, right? We're good workers, we buy things, we're good citizens, we're checking all the boxes. And still, there's this weird gap. This feeling isn't just in your head. It's a defining symptom of our times.
Okay, so what's the diagnosis here? Well, according to the sources we're digging into, this whole feeling of emptiness comes from a fundamental conflict, a split, really, in the way we exist in the modern world.
Now this is the core of the whole idea. On one side, you've got watashi, or I. That's you, the one-of-a-kind, totally irreplaceably you that you know yourself to be. But on the other side, you have hitobito, which translates to the masses, and that's you as the system sees you. Just one interchangeable unit in a giant crowd. And here's the kicker. We are forced to live in both of these realities at the exact same time. It's a constant internal tug of war.
Right, and let's be really clear about what the masses means here. It's not just a bunch of people standing around. It's a specific modern way of thinking about human beings. It's the idea that for our giant societies and economies to actually work, people have to be standardized, put into categories, and, well, ultimately, seen as replaceable.
And this is just a perfect, everyday example of what we're talking about. Think about any job. To you, the unique I, you bring your own spark to it. But to the company, the system, if you leave, they just hire someone else. The role gets filled, and the machine just keeps on churning. And this is the heart of the problem. We have to live this double life. To ourselves, we are completely irreplaceable. But to the systems that run our world, we're just a part that can be swapped out. That gap, right there, that's where the emptiness starts to grow.
So, if that split is the cause, the next big question is, who or what created it? I mean, how in the world did we end up living this way?
And here's a really crucial point from the source material. This shift, it didn't just happen. This way of seeing people as interchangeable cogs in a machine wasn't some natural evolution. It was designed. It was actually a necessary ingredient for building the world we live in right now.
So who were the architects? Well, according to this philosophy, they are the three massive systems that basically define our entire world. You've got the nation-state, which needs interchangeable citizens. You've got capitalism, which absolutely needs interchangeable workers and consumers. And you've got modern civil society, which needs members who all follow the same basic rules. These are the engines of our modern era.
And here's the cold, hard logic behind it. You just can't run a nation of millions, or a global economy, or a complex legal system if you have to deal with the infinite, messy complexity of every single unique I. It's impossible. So to operate, to get big, to be efficient, these systems have to abstract us. They have to turn us into data points, into roles, into members of the masses.
Okay, so we've got the diagnosis, and we've identified the architects. So, now let's look at the fallout. What actually happens when we spend our lives being treated like replaceable parts in some giant machine?
This is where we circle right back to that feeling of emptiness, because there is a profound human cost to all this efficiency, and it's a cost that the systems themselves have absolutely no way of measuring.
So what does this fallout look like? Well, when society constantly treats you as replaceable, your own sense of self starts to feel thin, less real. The sources call it a thinning of one's sense of existence. Our real communities built on unique relationships start to erode and get replaced by abstract networks. We get cut off from the natural world, and ultimately all of this just chips away at our basic human dignity.
This whole disconnection from nature thing is a perfect example. Once we started seeing the world through this purely human-centered, systematic lens, nature stopped being something we were part of. It just became a resource, a collection of stuff, a device, as the source material calls it, for us to use and control. And in the process, we lost that deep, real relationship.
Okay, I know this all sounds pretty bleak, but the philosophy here is not about despair. Not at all. It's actually about a path forward. It's about taking this diagnosis and finding a powerful new way to live.
And what's so important is that the answer isn't to just invent another, better, bigger system to fix the problems the old ones created. Nope.
That's just more of the same thinking. The solution being proposed here is way more personal, way more profound. It's about a shift in our own focus.
This example from after the Great East Japan earthquake is just incredibly powerful. From the system's point of view, the recovery was about helping a category, the victims, a number, a faceless part of the masses. And that approach was slow and clunky. But on the ground, the real recovery was already happening, and it was people rebuilding with each other, with Mr. A, with Mrs. B. It was specific, it was personal, and it was real.
So really, it all comes down to this. To fight back against that emptiness of living as one of the masses, we have to consciously, deliberately, shift our focus back to the world of the I, the world of concrete, specific, irreplaceable relationships, with people, with places, with nature. It's about rediscovering the value in the particular, not the abstract.
So, we'll leave you with this question. The modern world is always going to try and pull you into that abstract world of the masses. But the antidote, the source of a real, certain life, is found in the concrete. The real question, then, is this. Where in your own life, with what people, in what places, can you find and grow those irreplaceable connections that actually give life its meaning?